Put it over to attendees so he's more. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Hawaii Board of Veterinary Medicine meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, we will play a short video to explain procedures for this meeting and to inform the members of the public how they can participate and interact with board members. Go ahead and start the video, John.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the raise hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras. Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
Thank you, Johnny. So to view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with an entry in an email format, for example, name@email.com. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click on the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. If you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the Zoom phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you'll be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering star and then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star and then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star and then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you have been unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter star and then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will continue on a specified date and time. This information will be provided on the board's website. So I'll go ahead and, I will go ahead and take roll call. So members, when I call your name, please respond with either present or here. Dr. Craig Nishimoto, licensed member.
Present.
Dr. Lisa Wood, licensed member. Present. Eileen Wada, public member.
Present.
And myself, Marcella Chalk, chair, is present. So I will now call the meeting to order, and the time is 10:08. So first item on the agenda is approval for the September 8th public session meeting minutes. Is there anyone who would like to provide public testimony on the September 8th minutes?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Thank you, Johnny. Are there any corrections or amendments to the June 9th public or executive session minutes?
I don't see anyone with a raised hand, Chair.
Okay, thank you. So could we get a motion? to
Craig Nishimoto move that we accept the September 8th Board of Veterinary Medicine minute.
Dr. Wood, second.
Any opposed? Motion carried forward.
We're gonna enter on this as well.
Okay,
Oh, do we need to take testimony before we move into recess?
If anybody has testimony on
Yeah,
a
let's do that.
specific item,
okay, so is there anybody who would like to provide testimony on item number 2, which is chapter 91, HR's adjudicatory matters?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Thank you. The board will now recess to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities in accordance with Hawaii Revised Statute Section 92-5A4.
So we're gonna ask everyone to her Lay to step out because Lay's gonna advise us on the
please post the recess slide, Johnny. Johnny, this needs to be the recess slide.
No worries.
Chicken looking.
Thank you, Johnny. The board's returning to open session.
So,
Yes, Johnny, can you move Dr. Moscone to a panelist, please?
So click over to panelists.
yeah, this coming on right now.
Aloha.
Aloha,
Hi.
Dr. Moscone, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I raised my hand only because I couldn't hear you for a second. I didn't know if I was supposed to hear you or not. I didn't mean to interrupt you if you're doing something else.
No, that's fine. Mr. Epstein's about ready to speak on your behalf concerning your the board's proposed final order, and so we wanted to bring you on board in case you had anything to add.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Epstein,
ma'am.
whenever you're ready.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm Roy Epstein on behalf of Dr. Moscone. I'm presuming everybody has the October 16th letter that was sent, which pretty much sets forth our position and all this. It's my understanding the only matter is whether there's going to be a letter of reprimand merely on the issue that the board was not timely presented with its completion of continuing education. Further, that there's no dispute that he did finish the educational requirements. It's just that it never made it here in time. As Dr. Moscone had told the board, and as I've written, he had attempted to send it on 2 separate occasions. It did not make it on either occasion. It seems that the board's position is that it's his obligation to ensure that the board received it. That is an improper determination by the board, because a person cannot know if the board receives it unless he receives notice after he sends it that they did not receive it. So he did try it on 2 occasions. When he realized it wasn't received by US mail, that's when eventually it was received on May 3rd. And the fact that he did not do it by email, by fax or whatever, had he been told, or he would have done that. The fact that he didn't think of it, he shouldn't be penalized for not making that determination or making that thought process. The board previously on the hearing actually found credence that he did send the documents. It wasn't that he didn't send it. And the original opinion was that no reprimand and that the matter should be closed, which was rejected by the board. As set forth in my letter, the mailbox rule, which is normally applied to regular civil litigation, not to administrative hearings. is that once you put it in the mail, it's presumed that it's received. Or that it's been sent and it's been received because a person wouldn't know about it. That's been accepted in administrative hearings, not for this RICO, but it has been for other matters. And this board can apply the mailbox rule if they want, because other administrative agencies has agreed to it. And that's what we're asking, is that there is no dispute he did it in education. There's no dispute that he sent it twice, that didn't receive it, and eventually was received. So this is more of a procedural, in that he's being penalized for a procedural error or procedurally not making it on time, even though he attempted to do so. And it's an unfair burden and a blemish on his records that shouldn't be there. If he didn't do the education, that's fine. If he basically disregarded and never sent it in, we would understand. But he attempted and it didn't work. And that's where the big issues are. And we feel that the board should adopt the original ruling where they said nothing should be done and there should be no referendum. And since there's not much time left, I'll have Dr. Mosconi, is there anything you want to tell the board with regards to what happened here so that they have an understanding as
Yes, sir.
to this matter?
Thank you, Mr. Epstein. Hi, everybody. I'm John Mosconi. I've been trying to deal with this matter for over 3 years now, it seems. Just as a brief introduction of myself, I'm a veterinarian. I've been practicing for about 11 years. I've done extensive work in emergency and general practice in the states of Hawaii, California, and New Jersey. In addition to my work in private practice, I also volunteer extensively. I have volunteered with Poi Dogs, the Hawaiian Humane Society, and the Maui Humane Society. I yesterday just was volunteering at my local SPCA and found this guy who came in as a client-owned dog, and he has a necrotic mouth and needs full mouth extractions. I convinced them to give him to me, and I'll be taking care of that shortly. Getting back to the matter at hand, I was sent an audit in, it's been so many years, I believe it was 2019 or 2020. Just after COVID, and it was amidst the pandemic. I had gone home twice to retrieve documents that I had to prove that I had completed my continuing education. And I had gone to I kept them at that point at my parents' house, because the house that I'm in right now, the house that I purchased, was being renovated. Basically, this house was built in 1916 and needed extensive work, and everything that I had was there. I did go there twice. I had been trying my best to stay away from them because at this point they're 80 years old, and they both have health conditions which leave them at higher risk to severe complications if they were to be infected with COVID. Upon receiving the audit, I did go to their house and I did retrieve those documents, and I did send them via US first class mail. I put them in the mailbox, and I sent them and I sent them within 1 week. I can't say the exact day. I did the same thing approximately 1 month or 2 months later. Again, this is 3 years ago. I don't know the exact date, but I remember distinctly putting that envelope in the mail twice. I did call over and over and over, and I did call and speak with
Petitioner respectfully objects to taking additional testimony. The record that was established below.
with respect.
Wait, hang on 1 second. I'm not sure how is the procedure here for an objection to this.
Right, and you're 2 minutes over the 5.
Oh, okay, I nothing to look.
Didn't know either.
You make it really quick, 1 more minute. I just want to keep it really short, or should we stop? Or
But doctor is to refrain from testimony as to what transpired below, because we already have the findings of fact.
right.
So
So The,
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not trying
I just ask one question, it'll go to what's in the fax, so it's not new testimony. It's just the issue of the email, fax and whatever. You didn't email, fax or fax, let me see, email, fax or certified letter, right? You never sent it that way or you weren't requested to do so, correct? That was the only, that's part of the record. just clarification.
This is not the moment for
Okay,
question and testimony answers, yeah, so.
okay, the reason I apologize is because that's it, she had mentioned that had friend to testify, that's when I was sort of confused, that's what sort of threw me off. As to why he would.
Yeah, it's oral argument,
Right,
not new testimony,
right,
so
that's
if
why,
if that was on this statement, right? You will have the chance after Rico has their 5 minutes for
Right.
rebuttal,
okay.
okay?
Then that would be all from Dr. Moscone. Yes.
So, okay, I'm
That's, that's all you're allowed, that's the
Yeah,
part you are talking about.
thank you. Okay.
Okay, it's just. Okay, yeah.
Good morning, Chair Chalk, Vice Chair Wood, distinguished members of the Board of Veterinary Medicine. Thank you for your time today. I'm going to mostly stand on our filing. You know, as noted in the filing, the notice of exception was filed on behalf of Dr. Moscone. It was untimely. However, should the Super Board see fit to grant an extension, we will not oppose. You know, that said, the record on the record below, you know, even if we apply the mailbox rule, there's no record of when Dr. Moscone sent his reply to the audit letter, and in the absence of that, the presumption ought to be that it was not timely because we have no way of knowing when he sent it. You know, other than that, you know, petitioner supports the board's proposed final order as drafted. The level of discipline is commensurate and appropriate under the circumstances. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Get my quick rebuttal to that is under. As to the issue of the mailbox, which is really pretty much what we're here for today, is it's not. The only presumption is that it was mailed and it's Dr. Moscone did testify to, which is part of this, is that he did put it in the mail. There's no other way anybody could show a burden of proof with a mailbox rule unless they took a picture or they made a copy of it. So the standard on the mailbox rule is if there's testimony that you did put it in, then that suffices. The application of the mailbox rule to the administrative hearings, as I said before, has applied in other administrative agencies. As to how, whether or not it's been applied for RICO hearings, there's nothing that's been reported that I've been able to find. But we believe that it should apply in this case, and that Dr. Moscone, the fact that he did place it timely to send it, should be adhered to by the board, and that the recommendation of letter of reprimand be withdrawn. Thank you.
At this point, we'll excuse the room again. The board will deliberate.
Oh, okay.
We'll move back into recess.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
We're gonna move into recess, Johnny.
exec
Yeah,
session.
but luckily we're all here, so we don't have to go into it.
Okay,
They're talking about us.
Hmm.
They're talking about us having to go into.
Yes.
but it's nice that you guys are able to.
If for the food, you come.
Then we gotta have some Saturday, we'll make a rotation, like, so.
That's right, why can't we have a word?
Thank you. So, thank you, Dr. Moscone, and I guess, FC and Mr. Cruz. So the board has accepted its proposed final order. So as its final order, which will be issued shortly, so that's our decision.
I'm sorry that you're affirming the final order. I guess that's the right phraseology. I'm not sure. The final order will stand as it is.
The proposed final order to which you took exceptions.
Right.
The board accepted it
Okay.
as its board's final order. I will be adding in the oral argument today in the board's final order, which will be forthcoming.
Okay. So I'm sorry, sometimes the nomenclature just throws me off a little bit.
Right, it's a little different, I know.
Regularly, yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking your time and listening to us right for a little while. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
So is there anyone who would like to provide testimony on agenda item 3? John,
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
thank you, Jody.
Is that still?
So if I could ask for a motion to enter into executive session in order to consider and evaluate personal information relating to individuals applying for licensure in accordance to HRS section 92.5A1 and to consult with our board's attorney on questions and issues pertaining to the board's proposers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities in accordance with HRS section 92.5A4. Got a motion to move into executive session.
So move, right? You want to.
Sorry. No opposed, then we'll move into executive session. Thank you.
I don't think there's anybody else either.
There shouldn't be anybody else.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we just need to have a motion for on the ratification list of issued licensees.
So, I make a motion that that we ratify the names, you don't have to read all the names, just the
No.
21 names, the 21 names on the agenda, well, actually, it's 22. 20, 21, 22.
23.
23.
Okay. Okay, 23 names,
Items 3A, B, and C, on the agenda.
okay, yeah.
Second.
Yeah.
Any opposed? Since no opposition motion was for the ratification is for the. Next agenda item. I guess Carrie. Is there anyone who would like to provide testimony on agenda item number 4 on examinations?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Thank you, Johnny. So Carrie,
Yes, thank you. So these are the results of the state veterinary test September, October, and November of this year. In September, candidates eligible were 7, examined 5, candidates passed 2, candidates failed 3, no shows 1. In October, candidates eligible 8. Well, that's a wrong number, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to redo October, my numbers are way off, I'm sorry. I just looked at this and it says there's eligible candidates 8, but candidates examined were 12, so. We're just not gonna do, we're gonna do October next time around, sorry, everyone. And November, candidates eligible 9, candidates examined 9, candidates passed 8, candidates failed 1, and no shows 0. So, and I apologize about October, I'll get you that next meeting.
thanks, Carrie. So moving to agenda item number 5 for new business. Is anyone who would like to provide any testimony on agenda number 5?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Thank you, Johnny. So could we get a motion to accept the RICO Advisory Committee list and any additional interim appointees that RICO deems necessary to aid in its investigation? Could we get a
Lisa made the motion.
Second.
any opposed? So motion is carried. And Carrie, could you with the new business agenda items, I guess B, C, and D,
Yes, thank you.
provide?
So agenda item 5B is the 2023 annual report for licensing boards sent to us from the International Council for Veterinary Assessment. That's for your information only as board members. There's no action needed, just sharing the information with you. Item C, the 2024 meeting schedule. This is tentative. We were asked to move our meeting dates to Wednesdays this upcoming year. So we're looking at March 13, June 12, September 11, and December 11. Additional meetings can be scheduled if the need arises. So those will be the dates that we'll be sending out meeting invitations for. The last one is item 5D, legislative liaison. We're not scheduled to meet again until March. Obviously, legislation starts in January.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there would be someone who would like to volunteer that I could call upon if there's a question that comes up that I would like board input on. I'm not aware of any legislation coming up this year that would have to do with us, with veterinarians. I haven't heard any rumors going around about anybody putting anything forth. But if, I can call the chair, but she's not a veterinarian, so if it's specific to a veterinary question, I was wondering if one of our vets would like to be the person I could call upon.
I'm sure. We can call it, it's fine.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
My note liaison. Thank you, and I think that's all for me, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so our next meeting, as Perry mentioned, it's gonna be Wednesday, March 13th. And so there's be no other further business before the board. The meeting is adjourned at 11:31.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Have a great meeting. Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.